A hole punch is a common office tool that is used to create holes in sheets of paper, often for the purpose of collecting the sheets in a binder or folder. A leather punch, of different construction from one designed for paper, is used for leather goods, cloth, or thin plastic sheeting. Hole punch tools are also made to use on sheet metal, such as aluminum siding or air ducts. Mechanism. A typical hole punch, whether a single or multiple hole punch, has a long lever which is used to push a bladed cylinder straight through a number of sheets of paper. As the vertical travel distance of the cylinder is only a few millimeters, it can be positioned within a centimeter of the lever fulcrum. For low-volume hole punches, the resulting lever need not be more than 8 centimeters for sufficient force. 2 paper guides are needed to line up the paper, one opposite where the paper is inserted, to set the margin distance, and one on an adjacent side. Hole punches for industrial volumes feature very long lever arms, but function identically. Another mechanism uses hollow drills which are lowered by a screwing action into the paper. The paper is cut and forced up into the shaft of the drill to be later discarded as tightly packed columns of waste paper. This method allows a small machine to cut industrial volumes of paper with little effort. Standards. International ISO 838. The most common standard for the dimensions and location of filing holes punched in paper is International Standard ISO 838. 2 holes with a diameter of 6A plus or minus 0.5 mm are punched into the paper. The centers of these holes are 80A plus or minus 0.5 mm apart and have a distance of 12A plus or minus 1 mm to the nearest edge of the paper. The holes are located symmetrically in relation to the axis of the sheet or document. Any paper format that is at least 100 mm high can be filed using this system. A printed document with a margin of 20-25 mm will accommodate ISO 838 filing holes. 4-hole extension. A 4-hole extension is also commonly used. The 2 middle holes are punched in accordance with ISO 838, and so paper punched with the 4 holes can be filed in binders that are consistent with ISO 838. The 2 additional holes are located 80 mm above and below these. The use of 2 additional holes provides more stability. This extension is sometimes referred to as the 888 system, because of the 3/8 cm gaps between the holes. Some 2-hole punches have an 888 marking on their paper guide, to assist punching all 4 holes into A4 paper. North America 4-hole system, for U.S. legal size paper format. Traditionally 4 holes has been used in the past and still in use today but not as common as its sibling the standard 3 holes. The 4 holes are preferred due to the extra long length of 14-inch side of the paper where the 4 holes would be placed. Binders with 4 rings gives the paper better support in the binder. Were the documents only punched with 3 holes, this would allow sagging of the paper at the top part of the binder above the top ring. The 4 holes are positioned symmetrically with centers 3.5 inches apart. 3-hole system, in regions that use the U.S. letter paper format. United States, Canada, and in part Mexico and the Philippines, a 3-hole standard is widely used. The holes are positioned symmetrically, with the centers 4.25 inches apart. The diameter of the holes varies between manufacturers, with typical values being 1/4 to 5/16 inch. The 5/16 value is most commonly used, as it allows for looser tolerances in both ring binder and paper punching. The distance of the hole center to the paper edge also varies, with 1 or 2 inch being a typical value. Unlike ISO 838, this 3-hole system appears to have no well-established official specification, and is a de facto standard established by custom and tradition. It can only be applied to paper formats that are at least 9.5 inches high. 2-hole file binder, another standard also occasionally used in the United States, is a file binder system. Its 2 holes are positioned symmetrically, with the centers 2.75 inches apart. Sweden In Sweden, a 4-hole national standard is almost exclusively used. The centers of the holes are 21 mm, 70 mm and 21 mm apart. The guides help keep the paper in a straight line. The official name of this four-hole system is Trio-Ing since it was adapted to the Trio binder, which was awarded Swedish patent in 1890. The binder's inventor Andreas Tengvall supposedly named it after a consortium consisting of himself and two companions, that is a trio. The binder can be opened at any place while holding the papers in place, as the inner holes has forked guide pins from one side, the outer holes has pins from the other side. Chart equals. Uses of hole punches. Single hole punches equals. Single hole punches are often used to punch a ticket, which indicates it has been used, or to make confetti when creating scrapbooks and other paper crafts. For applications needing a variety of hole shapes, a ticket punch may be used. A single hole punch differs from a ticket punch in having a shorter reach and no choice of hole shape. In the United States, single hole punches are often used to punch holes through playing cards, marking them as used, or cancelled. This helps cut down on cheating by eliminating any cards that may have been tainted by players. Paper drilling is also popular for this purpose. Eyelet Punch. A related office tool is the Eyelet Punch. This is a single hole punch which also crimps a metal fastening loop around the hole. It is used to permanently secure a few sheets of paper together which must not be separated or modified. A similar tool, generally known as a holing pincer, is used in animal husbandry. A common application is to attach an ear tag to a livestock animal. Multiple hole punches equals. Multiple hole punches typically make between 1 and 8 holes at one time, the placement of which matches the spacing of the rings in a binder. For example, the Filofax system uses 6 holes and 2 groups of 3. In much of the world, 2-hole and 4-hole punches consistent with ISO 838 are the norm. In the US, the 3-hole punch is most common. Less frequently seen is the 2-hole file binder punch. In Japan, loose leaf in A4 on JISB5 sizes usually has 30 and 26 holes respectively according to the standard JIS Z8303, which specifies holes of 6A plus or minus 0.5 mm of diameter, with their centers every 9.5A plus or minus 1 mm, and a distance of 6.5A plus or minus 0.5 mm from the center of the holes to the edge of the paper, with the additional restriction that the holes must be placed in positions symmetric to the axis across the middle of the page. To prepare documents for comb binding there are special 19-hole punches for letter paper and 23-hole punches for A4 paper. The holes are usually rectangular in shape, to accommodate the plastic binding combs. Specialized punches are also used for the similar but incompatible coil binding process. There are office models available for the perforation of 1 to 150 sheets of paper, and industrial models for up to 470 sheets. Most multiple-hole and many single-hole punches accumulate the waste paper circles in a chamber, which must be periodically emptied in order to allow the continued operation of the punch. For large stacks of paper, a process of drilling may work better than punching. Paper drills equals. Paper drills are machines similar to a drill press that use hollow drill bits to drill through stacks of paper. The hollow bit design allows the chads to be ejected during drilling. Paper drills in the United States are most commonly either single-hole or 3-hole in construction. History: the origins of the hole punch date back to Germany via Matthias Thiel, where 2 early patents for a device designed to punch holes in paper have since been discovered. Friedrich Serneken made his patent on November 14, 1886, for his Verpierloche Far 1/4 Sammelmappen. See also, needle punch, punched card, punch tape, perforation, ring binder, ticket punch, chad. References: Appleton Ideas Punch Resources. Retrieved February 12, 2013. JISQ 8303, retrieved April 11, 2015, via online, Poppelsdorf, Serneken, U.S. Patent Number 313027. External links: simple instructions for using hole punches for card making.